I draw what I'm going to do first. I know I'm going to make a paddle in the middle, and this is going to be white, and I write this stuff in here. It's a way to keep a record of what you're doing, as well as when you're on the torch. I get confused sometimes. So if I have it written down, I'm going to do a turquoise opaque on this side and a lime opaque on this side. And then I'm going to build a big giant loaf of bread on either side. With my work, the intensity of the color is really important to me. So by putting a matching transparent on top of the opaque, I get more intensity of color. So if there's turquoise on this side, it'll be a matching turquoise transparent on that side. Then I'm going to case the whole thing with clear. And then I like the line that's a detail line on the outside. So I'll often do that with a filigrana rod, but you have to be really careful and don't look at the end of your filigrana rod, and if it has that white core in it, don't use it, because that will devitrify. But there is a turquoise that doesn't have the white in it, and so you just go through it, or you make your own. And so I'll mark on here where I want to put them. And I have lime on this side, so I want contrast, so I'll put the turquoise on that side. And in this case, I do have a piece of lime filigrana that I made and is warming. And the other thing is, if you haven't done a lot of these, start small. Just take a little bit of glass like that and make a paddle. No bigger than that, and possibly smaller when you're starting. Start at the top and push it down. And again, be careful not to go over that side. And I want this nice and smooth so that when I put the next layer of glass on, I'm not trapping any air. Do I always make my paddles square? Actually, I do. And now we're going to build our loaf of bread. At this point, I'm going to case this in clear, and I like to case the white first so that it doesn't leak out and it keeps everything on the sides neat and tidy. I'm also particular about the clear, and I don't want to have any schmutz in there. The rods often have been cut by saw, or even if you clip them with your rod cutters, there'll be a mark on there. So the end of the clear, I just put on here because I'm going to be building a clear cap on the end of that anyway. So that's where I just get rid of that. I am trying to build a pretty large glob of clear. Your punty pointed towards your chest. Get your glass nice and juicy. Give it somewhat of a push in there so that you're pushing the air out.
Heather, what kind of clear do you use?
This week, I'm using Lauscha. I seem to have a lot of luck with that. It's been the nicest clear I've seen in the last 2 or 3 years. You can put this in the middle, you can put it over the right, over to the left. You can cut it off with rod cutters, or you can just heat it in the flame and cut it off. You'll notice that this filigrana is really fat. This is some that I made myself. Put that right there. But it works, so. When you're heating this, you want to spin, you don't want to be spinning like this. You got to give it some time for the heat to soak in. So just relax. So you're heating your ends. more than your middle at this point. You see how it's starting to spin in the middle? So then you can just trade hands. Okay, and this is where, when it's starting to get hot, really hot, you're thinking what your hands are going to do when you twist it before you go to twist it. So you know where you're going. There's not as much heat in the ends as I would like. I'm watching what this twist is doing. And if it's getting thin in the middle, then I slow down.
That's nice. That looks great.
Is that fat enough for you?